Hello everybody, and welcome back to Pokemon White. Okay, so now that we finally finished the exam of Route 13, we're gonna be as soon as we get past this gate, we'll be entering the next town, and also, and I guess I should say this as well. The music is somewhat different depending on the season. Now, if you are visiting the town within spring, autumn, and winter, you actually get to listen to a very melody, and the music is more mellow like. And if you are visiting the town during summer, then it is actually more lively. You actually get to hear a more lively piece of music. And the town it is actually called Undella Town. Yep. Now, as I said, now the music you listen to in Undella Town is different, dependent on the season. Yeah, you actually get to hear a more lively music during summer. But if you're going for this town in the other seasons, then you get to hear a mellow type of then the music is more mellow. Now this place while Undella Town may not seem like all that important, but however, this place actually holds a perfect. Now, this is probably the most important town, and it is probably the most important place. So, within the entirety of post game, yeah, for definitely well, for one thing, it is definitely the closest place that you're gonna get to if you want to explore those. Yeah, if you want to explore those ruins right near Undella Town. And also this villa right here, I'm actually gonna save. I'm actually not gonna go in there until much later. Yeah, for those of you who have played a Pokemon Black and White before, yeah, for those of you who have played Generation 5, definitely know what I am talking about. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna save that for much later. Okay, never mind now. Now as to the Pokemon that you can actually find in Undella Town. Now you can still find Wingulls, Palipers, Corsolas while surfing, and you can still find Luftisc, Shelders, and Cloisters here. But also you can find not only wild Mantikes while just doing regular surfing, but if you counter through the ripples while surfing, you can then encounter not only wild Mantines, but also wild Wailmers as well. And also, while you are fishing, you can not only find wild Remoraid's, but also Octilleries, Octilleries as well. So yeah. And now the third most important thing about this town. Oh yeah. I guess I should say about that villa that I didn't exactly go in. Yeah, that I said I was gonna save for later. Yeah, that is actually the second most important thing when it comes to Undella Town. Now as for the third important thing when it comes to Undella Town is actually the villa that we actually are near right now. It is actually called the Richest Villa. Now, this villa is of course owned by a very, very rich family, and considering that we just defeated this guy and his now after you defeated this guy and his Weasel, Yeah, then you essentially are allowed to go inside the house, and then like after that, now once you're done talking to him, now he'll say more of his family will show up, for every time you revisit the villa for once per day. Yeah, meaning that, and also now, and if you want to now, and also now for every time you can actually have a rematch up against this guy and his weasel once per day. And then, once you do, more of his family will start to show up, and they'll have a battle with you too. But however, you can only have a rematch against them once per day. So, and if you want to get into the next family member, then you're gonna have to have a rematch up against the other family members again. All in a row, by the way. Yeah, in order for you to battle against the next one. So yeah, and this is something that I will be showing more of as we go into more of the game. Yeah, as more days go on throughout the game. So yeah, let's just say I'm gonna be coming back here at least a few times. Yeah, I'm definitely gonna be coming back here at least a few times. And also inside that villa was also that guy's father. Who will actually will give you a lot of money if you just so happen to give him some treasures that you can find within the abyssal ruins. Yeah, and it is the underwater temple that I was talking about before. The underwater temple that you can discover as soon as you dive underwater. Yeah, now as soon as you use your new HM move, dive in. Now the stuff that you can find within the abyssal temple. Yeah, now not only you can get the rest of the plates there, but the rest of the plates there. But you can also get the relic copper, relic silver, relic gold, a relic statues, relic vases, and you can also find relic bands. And if you make it all the way to the end of the abyssal ruins, you get yourself the relic crown. And like I said, yeah, and if you give him, yeah, and if you give that guy that stuff, all those relics, yeah, you can actually get a whole lot of money for it. So essentially, if you want more money, then you want to go for that. Oh yeah, and also now, and I guess I'll say this as well, considering that considering that we're now in Undella Bay now, I guess I should go over to this more now. Yeah, now Undella Bay. Now we can still find Wingulls, Palipers, and Mantikes. And also Wailmers, and also Mantines as well. But also you can also find wild Wailords here. But however, if you just so happen to go through Undella Bay during the winter, you can not only discover wild fields, but also wild Celios, and also wild war rains, wall rains as well. So yeah, you can. You can essentially find the entire, sphere line here, but only during the winter. Now, as for the Pokemon you find fishing here, yeah, I believe it is essentially identical to Undella Town. So yeah, so that's why I'm not gonna go over them again here. But anyways, everyone, now, Undella Bay is, of course, the place where you can utilize dive in order for you to go to the Abyssal Ruins. But however, like I said previously, I'm not gonna bother going through the Abyssal Ruins. Yeah, so that's why I'm just going through the information now, so that... Yeah, so then at the very least you guys get to hear it at least once during this whole playthrough. Yeah. But anyways, everyone, now Undella Bay itself, it isn't really too big of a place, really. Yeah, it is only really just a location where you go to in order for you to be able to get to the Abyssal Ruins, really. Yeah. But anyways. Anyways, there we go. Now we have the Pokemon I really wanted to get here. Now, of course, being Mantike. Mantike, the kite Pokemon. Yeah, Mantike is definitely some sort of like Mantike is sort of similar like a kite. But anyways, there we go. Okay, now that's we are done with that. Okay. Now let's definitely get our max spells on, so then we can. So then, of course, we get started on facing off against these trainers here. All right, first off, you. I just love swimming. So I have only fun against wild Pokemon. Yeah, I bet. Yeah, I bet you only did. Oh, his name is Bart, huh? Oh, hey, Staryu, how's it going, buddy? As you can see, now, Staryu here also, now, I believe just like with Starmie, essentially also has the same sprite from Diamond and Pearl. So, yeah, how's up with that, huh? Anyways, you also have Wingull too, huh? Alright, I guess that's some of my Crocodile could easily handle against that. Now, I guess I should also say for the Abyssal Ruins is that now considering that now this is actually the only where it is essentially like the Safari Zone, where the amount of steps you take, essentially depends on now if you take a certain number of steps, then you will like go back. Yeah, so essentially now every time you enter the ruins, you're only allowed to take 500 steps until a turn of water will send you back into the surface. And then dull sounds of increasing intensity provide warnings to you. If it doesn't happen when your step count reaches 100, 300, or 450. So essentially, due to the step limit, it is impossible for you to get every item in one trip. So yeah, you essentially have to make multiple trips. Through that place. Oh yeah, but anyways, Quagsire. As you see here, now Quagsire here essentially has the same sprite from. Quagsire here essentially has the same sprite from Heart Gold and Soul Silver. Yeah, this is definitely the sprite that we've had with our Quagsire during our adventures through Soul Silver. But anyways, now back to the Abyssal Ruins again. Now, if you want to reach the second floor, you must reach the pillar in the middle of the ruins in fewer than 190 steps. Yeah, then as the shortest path reaches the pillar at a step count between 162 and 171, depending on the entrance taken. Yeah, this can only be done if the player skips almost. Yeah, if it just happen to skip every single item on the first floor, and if you want to reach the third floor, you should now if you want to reach the third floor, you actually need flash for this. Now, and you actually need to use it at a purple pillar, which is located in the central west path, at a dead end. And if you want to reach the final floor where the crown is, then you actually must need. You also need strength. The strength at a purple pillar in the central east part of that floor. So yeah, it is definitely a trip. A trip. If you want to go through every single floor while trying your best to get every single Pokemon in that place. Yeah, it is definitely a chore. Oh yeah, and there are also these messages on every floor, but all of them are spoken in a different language. So yeah, that's why you're probably gonna have to look it up if you want to be able to look at what those languages actually mean. Yeah, what those messages are like actually saying. But anyways, Corsola. Let's see here. Corsola here also has the essentially has the same sprite from Diamond and Pearl. Yeah, it's just that Corsola really likes to bend over from one side to another. Yeah. Oh yeah, and also everyone, now as you can see as well, in Undella Bay, yeah, now you see that little like a dark water spots. Yeah, those are essentially the only times where you can utilize dive at. So yeah, you cannot use dive anywhere else. Yeah. But anyways, Shelter! Let's see here. Now Shelter also has the same sprite from Diamond and Pearl. And also, Shelter really likes to play around with his tongue so much. Yeah. Yeah, Shelter really likes to play around with his tongue. Yeah, that's why you see it constantly moving all the time. But anyways, Chinchou! Now, Chinchou here also has the same sprite for Diamond and Pearl. This is Chinchou here. Yeah, really likes to float up. He really likes to float up and down just a little bit. Yeah. Yeah, that is your Chinchous for you. But anyways, now and also anything else I need to say about the Abyssal Ruins? Oh yeah, now the Abyssal Ruins was actually a part of. Now the Abyssal Ruins was actually shown within the Like a White anime, but however, yeah, the only time that we ever got to see it was when it actually rose out of the water, thanks to Giovanni. Giovanni utilizing Meloetta's powers. Yeah, the Abyssal Ruins was essentially the ultimate climax location. Was the ultimate climax location for the Meloetta arc. And it was there where Giovanni got to, by using the powers of Meloetta, to not only summon Tornadus Thunderous, and also but also Landorus, and it is where he also got to utilize the And is also where he also utilized the reveal glass to change reveal glass to change their forms. So yeah, so yeah, the Abyssal Ruins definitely got to be utilized more within the anime, more into the actual games that's in the game, so more into the actual games on themselves. But anyways, everyone, yeah, apparently this guy not only has one but two, but he has not one but two Wailmers. And again, I said this before, but how is it that, yeah, Wailord still does not get a brand new sprite for itself, but yet Wailmer on the other hand does? I'm like, really? Like, why is it only why Pokemon like Wailord and Shuppet still don't get a new sprite change from the Gen 4 games? Like, jeez. But anyways, with that, I think that's all I really have to say when it comes to the I believe that's all I really have to say when it comes to the Abyssal Ruins. And I believe there's only one more trainer. Yeah, her over there. And that will be it for the Undella Bay. Did you come here to see Cynthia? Cynthia, is she in a bathing suit? First off, major spoilers for those of you those of you who are not watching this. And secondly, if you really wanted to see actual swimsuits of Cynthia, yeah, there's plenty of that online. Yeah, this woman really has not been on, apparently really does not go online that much. Otherwise, she would have easily seen a swimsuit of Cynthia. But anyways, yeah, what she just said was essentially a major spoiler to the person that I said that we're gonna say that we were gonna say for much later. Yeah, the person inside that villa is actually none other than Sinnoh's champion, Cynthia. And as soon as you get in, you'll have yourself you're gonna get yourself into a battle against her. But however, you can say no. Yeah, you can battle against her. Only if you want to. Yeah, even if you do go inside the villa now. But as for me, I just want to save that for later. Yeah, I definitely want to save our battle against Cynthia for later. Because my team is definitely not strong enough to face off against her. Oh yeah, and I guess I should point this out as well. Yeah, because then we got another counter with Golduck and Seal. Yeah, now that's right, now everyone. Now, if we did not encounter both of these Pokemon before, then this would have been the very first encounters, all game. Yeah, so if we did not encounter Golduck at the village bridge, or Seal over back at the giant chasm, then this would have been our very first time encountering said Pokemon. But anyways, everyone, I feel like that is definitely all. I feel like I've definitely done more than enough when it comes to this video. And so, with that said, we shall continue on for the next part. And so until then, I'll see you guys next time.